Great. Thanks everybody for joining us today. We're going to get started in 1 minute. Okay. I'm sure some people will be joining us, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thanks everybody for joining me today. My name is Deneen Dias. I'm Vice President of Strategic Alliances here at Botkeeper, and I am thrilled to have a discussion today with Jim and Nina. This is our first ever On the Edge discussion, so I'm just really honored to have the two of you start off what I hope to be a really nice ongoing series that I do every month. But today what I'd like for Jim and Nina to share is insights on how technologies has helped you grow your CAS practice at Withum. So Jim, would you please go ahead and introduce yourself to start?
Absolutely, Deneen. And by the way, we are so happy to be kicking off your On the Edge series. Couldn't be happier that you asked us to join you. So, because we are on the edge, you can tell the way we look, the way we act, what we do, and what we're doing in the space, which we'll share within a couple of minutes. Anyway, I'm Jim Bourke, partner here at Withum, and I'm past president of the Drew Side CPAs. Been a stint on the board of the AI CPA, 12 years on council. Today, I'm managing director for advisory services for Withum. And I'll tell you, it is driving firm growth today. So happy to be here sharing our experiences with you guys today.
And so, Jim, I cannot imagine that anybody on this call today doesn't know who you are. Okay. We've all really watched you. I mean, you've been a big advocate of technology. You've been very progressive. And so I thank you again for joining. And I've also asked Nina to join. She's a partner at Withum. She heads their CAS practice. Nina, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure thing. Thanks so much for having me. Nina Chmura. I head up our outsourced accounting systems and services team, or as we like to call it, OASIS at Withum. I've been with Withum about 16 years and started putting the outsourced accounting group together a little over 4 years ago, and it's been really exciting and a really fun ride. We've been doing fantastic, and under Jim's leadership, we've been growing and enjoying all of the technology that the firm has had to offer and finding new ones. So we're excited to talk about Botkeeper and how it applies to our practice today.
Thank you. Well, Nina, Jim introduced me to you, I think 4 years ago, and I've really watched you as you've built your CAS practice. And 1 year in looks very different than 2 years in, looks very different than 3 years in. And those are some of the things I'd like to talk about today. But before we do, Jim, if you could just, I mean, you've always been so progressive, but if you can really share with us, you know, why you believe technology is so important and why automation for firms is so important. I'd like to start there.
Well, I got to tell you, Deneen, it's you got to remain relevant way into the future. You got to be on top of these things, right? So today, I would make the argument that every single accounting firm, every single CPA firm that's out there, I don't care where you are in the globe, you're a technology company, right? And technology is going a mile a minute. It's changing what we do. We're getting away from our legacy practices that focus on offering compliance services like audit, like tax. Yes, we're still doing it, but you know what? What's driving firm growth is this stuff. It's about outsourced accounting. It's about utilization and aligning the best technologies to grow your practice today. And that's what it is. It's being able to identify those technologies that can lead us to the next level of growth in accordance with our strategic plan. So we are always on the lookout for those technologies. Again, you don't have to be experts in the technology itself. You just need to know it's available, it's out there, and then surround yourself with that technology within your firm.
I love that perspective because I think firms are stuck and they're stuck in it. You know, they've always done it a certain way and it served firms well and they've been really, really profitable. But I agree, there's so much data coming at us today, and how firms make meaning of that data to really then help the clients make meaning of the data is where, you know, I think the opportunity is. So, you know, kind of pushing past how you've always done it and focus on maybe a new way to do new things is where there's huge opportunity. And so, Nina, I'd like to kind of pass that over to you to share, how you are using that in building out this CAS practice. And over the 4 years, I think you've added, is it 45 team members dedicated just to CAS over 4 offices? I mean, that's impressive. And I'd love for you to speak to that a bit.
Sure. So, as we went through the growth process here with the CAS practice, and we're still growing, so there's still many lessons to learn. But we started kind of with the most basic accounting services that we performed. I always say we started this practice 4 years ago, but Withum's been doing this kind of work as long as we can remember. It just was, desegregated. So the first thing we started with was, how can we develop processes and procedures that are duplicatable and can go work with many clients while still being flexible and helping our clients the best way that we can. And we started with kind of the lowest level transaction processing, just reconciling that kind of work. And now what we've done is we've continued to grow and continue to find more advisory services, more real-time accounting services, more of the accounts payable clerking and the accounts receivable invoicing, the things that really provide value to our clients rather than just the basic bookkeeping services. I always say if we're looked at as just bookkeepers, we are not going to win. We've got to be looked at as advisors and trusted advisors that are on the ride with our clients. And using technology has allowed us to do that in a way that makes it easier to leverage. And we find individuals in the firm to be part of this CAS practice, and they want to be part of the growth of an accounting firm like Withum. And the only way we can do that is by training them, getting them on board with the most basic services, but then using technology to quickly make them advisors and make them people that the clients turn to answer questions.
So Jim, I have a question for you, but before that, Nina, you said a lot of really good things, and I wanted to dig down on one thing that you just said, where again, I see firms sort of struggle is with staff. I mean, all the firms tell me their capacity, they don't have, there's more clients than there are bookkeepers, and they're really stuck. But then the talent that the most traditional firms have are not analytical and advisory. They're really good at gathering the data and reporting on the data. So, how have you been able to build your team? How have you been able to empower them to not be afraid of the technology or think the technology is replacing them, but to really embrace it and use it in a way where I think firms that do that are winning. You're winning. Sure. Because you're building a different talent and you're training them. So I just wanted to dig into that a bit.
Sure. So we've been truly blessed in the sense that we've been consistently growing. So the argument of, is technology going to take my job away is really non-existent, because every month, every week, there's new clients, new work that needs to get done. And it's a matter of finding the capacity with the people that we have and challenging them so that they can grow. And if we can't use the technology to do some of the most base level work, I can't get the team to be able to get better. And they all have the drive and desire to be better. We're part of a progressive firm. We all want to be, the next manager, the next senior manager, the next partner kind of thing. And if I keep them in the weeds with too much of the transaction processing and bank recs and things like that, they're not learning the things that they need to truly become advisors. So the team has embraced technology. I think the firm leads with technology, so the culture is there and it's easy to grab onto. And I always say we've got to get the right people on the right seats of the bus. So sometimes it's trial and error. We work with certain people with certain clients and certain processes, and we've got to move things around to make it more efficient and effective. But we know that there's opportunity for everyone somewhere, and we've just got to find it.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Jim, that does lead me to my next question for you is talk to us about that growth. I mean, I've been hearing it's like double-digit growth, and and you said it at the beginning of this call, right? CAS is driving growth, right? Clients are coming to you, they want these services, they're asking for these advisory services. So can you share with us what that growth has looked like, and then even maybe last year with COVID? I think the way the world changed last year was a hard year for all of us.
Yep.
all of a sudden businesses had to shut down, people had to work from home. So the push to digitize was way faster for businesses than ever before. So I'd love to hear, your growth for the last 4 years, but also what last year growth was like for you.
Sure. I mean, loaded question. It's off the charts. I'm totally honest with you guys. It's off the charts. It's our advisory group where our outsourced accounting group sits. We have many different verticals in that group. Nina is responsible for running the largest vertical within our advisory group, which is our outsourced accounting group, and we've branded it in the marketplace as Oasis. And so with Oasis included in our advisory, we have this year alone, we have over 30% growth. We had 35% growth last year. So our year end straddles a period. It's a June 30th year end, so it's a little odd. So it's hitting us on multiple years with respect to COVID. But I'll tell you, with respect to the pandemic, as bad as the pandemic has been globally, here and abroad, the silver lining for us is that we are helping our clients through this as a result of taking on the burden of doing the outsourced accounting. So a lot of our clients are saying, look, we our technology is stuck behind our bricks and mortar. You guys at Withum, you can come in. You're dealing with all web-based technologies. You're dealing with collaborative technologies. Your team is on it. They understand that we're using a combination of people and machines, and that's really important, right? It's to Nina's point that she just raised about the machines. Very often, you're right, Deneen, people talk about staff get intimidated when we start introducing new technologies. Is this technology going to take my job away? No, it's not. In fact, it's going to do all those manual tasks that you don't like to do, right? So that's what the technology is going to do. And it's going to put you in a totally different position, a position to really keep your eyes and ears open for new opportunities for us as a firm, and also to be in a better position to advise our clients on how well they're doing financially. I'll tell you, Nina's group adds massive value. We've gotten over the hurdle. So many firms struggle with the independence issue. Well, quite frankly, if we could do better as a firm, okay, by doing the outsourced accounting, we have made that decision. We have walked away from a test work because it was better for the client. It's better for the firm globally overall, not better for individual partners within the group. We don't think that way. We think globally as a firm. So that, I'll tell you, and having the right team, Nina has really surrounded herself with a great team. We have a national practice today, coast to coast, north to south, and our team can virtually work anywhere. Her team today is 100% remote, servicing our clients. So that is really a contributing factor into our off the charts growth, and that growth, Deneen, is driving firm growth. I opened by saying that. I'll say it again. It is significantly higher than tax and then test growth in our firm.
Yeah. Wow. Well, so you just said a lot. And I think it's refreshing to hear that your firm is willing to give up the audit, which is an annual, you get a lump sum once a year, to instead get reoccurring revenue month after month, year after year. And that's a stretch for a lot of auditors to get their head around, because the traditional firm structure is the partner is kind of in charge of their book of business. So can you just share how you got past that? Because that's a big
Yes, it is huge. And so you talked about the traditional firm, the focus is on a partner's book of business. That's a problem. That is a problem, right? When I talk to firms, partners don't like giving up. If I have an audit, if I have tax work or whatever may be a test work, that's pretty good. Unless I screw it up, I'm going to keep doing that audit every year. I'm going to keep doing that compilation. I'm going to keep doing that review every year. So I don't have to work as hard as a partner that has all that work, because as long as I keep my clients good, I'm good. Nina has to work harder. We have to work harder in advisory because our clients grow up. We may be serving a need for a client that's at a certain stage in their life. Maybe small public companies that don't want to ramp up internally. Maybe they want to use our outsourced accounting group. Maybe we have companies going through transition in their accounting team. They want to use our outsourced accounting group. And then there's those that want to use us all the time, right? So, but we have to work harder to protect that business. Where you get the change in a firm, you got to change firm philosophy. It's got to be up top. It's got to be right from the management committee, the executive committee, whoever you call it, the CEO. They have to push. They got to change partner compensation. The focus needs to be growth at a firm. I'll tell you, we did that, Deneen. Wow. We changed the partner compensation model. Every partner has a dashboard. Partners are incentivized in their compensation when they refer business over to advisory. In fact, it's not even an option. They absolutely have to do it, or they get dinged on their compensation for not doing it. So it's not a case of dealing with someone, hey, I'm happy making what I'm making, I'm not going to refer anything. No, if you're happy what you're making and you want to keep making it, you better refer
Yeah.
business over to the advisory group. So all of that, you got to change the mindset on compensation.
Wow. Wow. I mean, that's a really hot topic, and I could probably spend an hour talking to you about just that. But Nina, do you want to expand on that? Because I mean, obviously you have a leader in Jim who's paving the way, and that's what he's always been good at, is like paving the way to get, that internal mindset. That's what firms tell me the most that are trying to build CAS practices, is there's this like internal education has been the hardest struggle, because there's no doubt clients are calling and asking for this. It's more of the firm, structure. So
Yep.
can you expand on that a bit?
Sure. So, I think it'd be safe to say that, at least 75% of our growth has come from internal partner referrals into our team. That has changed over time, where the initial set of internal referrals was maybe clients we were doing something for already. And now it's more of they've met someone, the need is in outsourced accounting, and they may come to us as the leader of the prospecting, call or what we can do for them. But honestly, my approach to it from the beginning was, if a partner brings a relationship to me, that has to be held so sacred. And
Yeah.
we have to make sure we are hitting it out of the park and doing the work that we need to do better than we ever would, right? Like, it just has to be held to a gold standard, so that then the next partner will be willing to give us
Right.
the work, and so on. So in the beginning, we didn't worry that much about realization, or about, the number of hours we took on a job, or things like that. It was about getting the work done right and in the best process that we could possibly do.
Yeah.
Now, 4 years later, we're coming back and saying, okay, how can we do it more efficiently? How can we do it more effectively with still getting that precision of getting it right? But
Right.
we need to, continually protect those relationships with the firm, because they're gold to us. It's what's built us. And, we are solution providers. We want to help solve problems for our clients. And that means we're doing the same amount of referrals outward that are coming inward. We're bringing in the tax team, we're bringing in the SALT team, we're getting, non-independent comps completed by the attest teams, just to make sure that, the referrals are coming both ways, because it's what our clients need. And
Yeah.
that can be very helpful for us as well.
Well, and I think the snowball effect starts happening when you start getting those leads, and then they see how you're servicing these clients different than just bookkeeping, right? Then the snowball effect happens, because the clients are thankful and appreciative, and then you have the relationship because you're talking to these clients every single month, and then you can bring in the sales and use tax person. So it's like this snowball effect that's happened. And so let's talk. You said something that I want to drill down into about that automation, right? Because at 4 years down this journey, and I think probably last year with COVID, it accelerated this, right? So, but 4 years down this journey, I see from all the firms that I've worked with in this space over the last 10 years, is you're at the next level. And so at that next level, you've already transitioned to the cloud, right? I think the cloud was the journey 8 years ago. Now you're moving to the AI and the machine learning, where, that's why I'm here, is I think firms are more ready for that conversation than they were ready for the cloud 6 years ago, right? And so how, Jim, how are you taking advantage of the machine learning at the firm?
So here's the deal. If you don't take advantage of it, you're missing out on opportunities. So Nina and I, what we do is we sit down and we talk about prospects, we talk about opportunities. I will tell you, in the past, when we didn't focus on machine learning, when we didn't focus on AI, when we didn't focus on the bots, Nina would actually walk away from potential engagements. Why? Because many of you that are watching this probably realize that, hey, you go into an opportunity, and maybe it's a large chain of restaurants or something like that, right? That needs to have outsourced accounting done. But you go in and you hit a wall because you realize the price point that they are willing to pay for your service is so low. In the past, when we didn't have AI, we didn't have the bots, we didn't have the machine learning, we honestly had to walk away from those opportunities because we couldn't sacrifice our margins that low to just drag down the rest of the group and drag down the rest of the firm. So now with a focus on machine learning, on AI, and quite frankly, with Botkeeper, what Botkeeper has allowed us to do with the technology and process that they brought to the table for us is now we are able to go into engagements that we previously walked away from and we're not losing money on those engagements.
Yeah.
In fact, I would argue that we're making as much money on those engagements as we are on the engagements where we had people in the process, 100% people in the process. So what we have done, we have leveraged technology, we've leveraged AI, we've leveraged machine learning to get smarter about this entire process. And that has created great opportunities for us to grow our CAS practice.
Yeah,
I'm
I
actually going to
agree.
jump in.
Can
We
I?
have a great
Go ahead.
question from the audience.
Great.
Why do you think firms are stuck in this tech adoption?
Why firms
Anybody
are
want to
stuck?
answer that? Why
Why
are they
firms-
stuck in this tech adoption?
I think they're just not adopting technology fast enough. Like they're stuck.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's the deal. You got to think about legacy firms, right? Legacy firms. What do firms do? Partner compensation comes out of the firm, right? Firm every year, partners, they live a great lifestyle, nice houses, nice cars, nice things, right? So what you have to do, you have to also look at the growth in the firm. You have to reinvest some of that excess cash. Instead of taking it out, reinvest it in the firm. Those firms that reinvest back into technology and view technology as a strategic asset versus
Yeah.
an expense, that's what's really going to help drive profitability. You're not going to drive profitability by using, your mom and dad's technology. You need to
Yeah.
use tomorrow's technology. Seriously, look at the
Yeah.
technology that's there. Look at the technology that's emerging. Deploy that within your CAS practice today.
And if I can add, I think a lot of times it's about asking your client to do something different. It is a roadblock for
Yes.
partners. And, I like to think of it, if I were going to go into a mechanic and he was going to fix my car like he would a car 10 years ago, it wouldn't be working, right? So the same thing is true with accounting. If we are not doing things any different than we were 10 years ago, obviously we're not growing and we're not, abiding by the new technology that's out there. And I think you've got to sometimes say, you've got to think about it and say, are the client's going to understand that their business changed in the last 10 years. Why didn't my business change, as the accountant? So getting them to give you the access that you need to take advantage of this technology is pivotal. And when you can explain to them that it's going to allow them to get better service and more frequent touches and more partner time and less, staff accountant work, I think that becomes really valuable. There, it's not a instance of if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? You've got to come back to the process and say can be better. We can do something better and more effectively.
I agree wholeheartedly. These clients are coming to you because something's broken and they want to give you their problems. And you have to say to them, you're coming to me because I'm the expert. This is broken. So let me fix it in a way that you can get with me. You get the technology with me. And with Botkeeper, you get the bots with me. So I wanted to just, drill down into that a little bit, Nina. And if you can kind of talk about how Botkeeper is helping you build out this part of your practice and where you're finding value since you've started making that transition.
Sure. So we're definitely finding value and efficiency. That's the low-hanging fruit, right? Being able to get transaction processing and bank recs done quicker, faster, more automated is key to being able to get the books closed quicker, more accurately, and be able to do the other services that our clients are asking for. But I think more importantly, it's helping us grow our staff, and it's growing into the true advisor role. If my lead consultants and my managers are spending so much time reviewing where things are coded, they're not able to see the big picture that insurance costs are going up, or that a client is paying rent on a space that they haven't been in 6 months because of COVID, and what can they do about that, right? Those kind of conversations are what become valuable. We're looking at some of our clients and saying, what costs can we help cut? What partners can we bring in with discounts and things like that to help make this process, whether it be accounting or just their business, more profitable? And my advisors are able to do that because they're out of the mud of the
Right.
constant, transaction coding every day just to get to where a cash balance is, right? How many businesses manage based on what's in their bank? Well, they don't know what's in their bank if they haven't posted the transactions, right? So that was so much of the time, just figuring out what was in the bank that day. Now we're able to do that so automated that we can talk about other things that are more valuable.
Well, and I think that clients don't care as much about closing the books as firms care about closing the books, right? Clients
Correct.
care that you're calling them, giving them this business advice, that you're looking at their data, that you're looking at their information, that you're able to call them and give them insight. That's where I think the stickiness happens there. It's not
Yes.
the, hey, send me your bank statements. Hey, I need to post your receipts. Like they're like, yeah, we'll get to that. Well, now you're calling them and you're guiding them. And Jem, I see you shaking your head. So can
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. So the problem is, here's the problem. A lot of us, we're CPAs, right? So we're stuck in that. We love balance sheets, right? We love P&Ls. Oh my God, we love cash flows, right? So we love that stuff. Do you really think our clients love that stuff? Our clients don't, right? They want to know, what do I have? What do I got
Cash
coming
flow.
in? What do I got going out? That's what they want to know. They want the top level stuff. So when we're able to very quickly allow our clients to know that information, let us worry about all the details, all the stuff. Let's just give them the high level 30,000 foot view. We don't have to go line by line through a balance sheet, P&L, and cash flow anymore, even though we really love that stuff, right? So our clients don't want that. They're not asking for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I'm really glad, Nina, to hear that Botkeeper is freeing up your team so that they're able to have time to kind of like pause and advise, right? And so can you share with us? And I think a lot of firms think, oh, Withum's a big firm, right? And Withum is a big firm and you can use all this technology. And the truth is technology is a great equalizer. Everybody can use QBO. Withum has clients on QBO, so does a small firm have clients on QBO. Everyone can use Bill.com. Everyone can use Botkeeper, right? And the thing I love about Botkeeper is it's an easy way for firms to bring the technology into the firm and easily use the bots with SMBs, where I think firms are all interested in AI and machine learning, but they're like, there's a disconnect. Like, okay, so what do I do? How do I bring in the firm? Am I selling it to clients? How am I using it with clients? So,
Yeah.
I think this is just a great example of how a firm can use technology to really move their talent to the next level.
Yes.
And I know I've asked this before, but I'm going to ask it again because we have 3 minutes left. How are you coaching your talent to use this data and this time savings to really be that advisor?
Yeah, so a lot of our coaching is just about being a part of the conversation, right? Getting them in the conversation early on so they can hear what the person that's been doing it a little bit longer does, so that then it's easier for them to see it later. But I do want to hit on one thing that you said about how we're using Botkeeper, and I tell my whole team that Botkeeper is a member of the team. It's not a technology. It's truly a part of the team providing the service to be able to give to our clients, their deliverables on a monthly basis. And when you change the perspective of the bot being a team member instead of the technology, it really shows them how that time savings creates something, right? We treat the Botkeeper fee as if it's WIP. It is time in our account, just like the people's time, and being able to look at that and look at how the profitability works per client and how it saves us time and it opens up the budget is really visual. We're accountants. We like
Right.
numbers, we like budgets, and that allows them to be able to see, I have 2 more hours to give this client to do something different. What am I going to do with it?
Yeah, and Deneen, what you were saying before, technology used to be a differentiator based upon firm size. The biggest firms out there in the country, right? They had the absolute best technology. Sole practitioners resorted to, the low end technology. It just didn't work, right? Today, with the cloud, moving everything, migrating everything to cloud technology, everyone is on the same playing field. I will tell you, the sole practitioner on Main Street can actually deploy all of the same technologies today in their CAS practice that we do in a large regional firm, and even same with the national firms. It's global, and that's what you need to understand. It's no longer differentiator. We are all on the same playing field, and so think about it. So AI, machine learning. If you're a small firm, I know you don't have the resources internally to create that type of stuff, but you know what? You can go out and leverage technology that already exists out there in the marketplace, just like Botkeeper, to say, hey, now you got it. You're deploying AI, you're deploying bots, you're deploying machine learning in the process.
I love it. I love it. Well, that's our 30 minutes. Time flew as I expected. I could spend another 3 hours talking about this. And I think, is there any other questions? We've got 1 more minute. Is there a good question, Della?
So one of the last questions is, do you integrate with Carbon? Does Botkeeper integrate with Carbon?
What is Carbon, Jim? I don't think so. What is Carbon?
Oh.
You're shaking your head no.
I don't think so. I mean, we're utilizing a lot of collaborative technologies in our outsourced accounting group. We're not utilizing Carbon. We're utilizing all the technologies that your clients are using out there. And Botkeeper comes in and is part of the team, like Nina said, is part of the team, allows for easy use of all of those technologies.
Yeah, I mean, I can answer the question this way, is right now Botkeeper integrates with 2 GLs, 2 cloud GLs, it's QBO and Xero. And that's where our bots are really spending their time to make sure the transaction and the coding is accurate. Whatever the tech stack is that the firm is using, if the firm is using bill.com because the firm is paying bills for clients, we can help with that. So we do kind of take over the tech stack that the firm is using in the cloud. But if you're using other cloud tools, we probably don't need to integrate with those other tools because we're integrating with the GL. So I hope that answers the question. Thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate your time. Really, really good information for firms to hear and to learn from. So I thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.
All right.
Oh, there we go.
All right. I think we're